Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Coffee and Chat. This is installment number 5, and today I'm super excited to have Niki South here. Now, Nikki, I'll give you a little bit of background about how I know Nikki. So we met at the beginning of 2019, and we were having a feature done in the local newspaper, and Nikki was our photographer. And then at the time we were working with another photographer, and recently she has moved away from photography. So now Nikki is our photographer for our business. And I just have to give Nikki a shout out. So you know the book in the background, Nikki took that photo. I'll just move it. So we had no idea what was going on the cover of our book, and we kind of gave Nikki a rough idea of what we wanted, and she captured it absolutely perfectly. So she's a very talented lady. But we're not here to talk about Nikki's photography. We are here to talk about her energy healing, and I'm so excited to conduct this interview with Nikki, because there's a lot of stuff about energy healing that I just don't know and I don't understand, and I'm sure that there's a lot of listeners in the same boat. So Nikki, how about you get the ball rolling and just tell us a little bit about yourself and your background?
Yeah, so hi everybody, and Heidi, thank you for having me here. So I was born in Hamilton and then moved to Tauranga when I was about 10. Went traveling, got married, got divorced, did all that sort of stuff, and came back. When I came back, would have been 2001, after a marriage breakup. I was looking for something to make me feel better, and so I ended up diving into my spirituality a bit more, and then I learned Reiki. And that was the beginning of it. And since then, I've added on to it, and I've explored and tried to find my own little niche of what I think works the best for me and my clients, really. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting because you know, obviously I've only just learned recently that there's this whole other side to what you do, and you know, I knew you as a photographer, and I didn't realize that you'd gone so far into all of this stuff. So you mentioned that you started to do it because you wanted to feel better after your marriage breakup.
Yeah.
Did that healing work give you what you were looking for?
Yeah, it did. Because when you go to the doctor, and you go, oh, you know, I'm really sad, you know, blah blah blah, I don't know what's wrong, or you might know what's wrong. They're just going to dish out a pill. Yeah. Just write a prescription, take these and you'll feel better, which doesn't fix the problem. Or if you go to like a counselor kind of thing, you have to keep reliving that trauma over and over again, and that didn't work. And it was like, no, it's just making me sadder. It's, you know, not working out for me at all. So Reiki was the start of the journey. And then it's kind of evolved now into just, it's definitely not a generic form of healing by any means, but it doesn't have a name as such because it's so wide. We work with like massive amounts of areas in the body, from, you know, meridians and your chakras, tapping, and like, yeah, all sorts of different areas. So yeah.
So I mean, I know energy healing has been around for probably centuries.
Yeah.
But it's really only recently that it's kind of come into our realm as a society in terms of people actually knowing what it is and taking advantage of it. So can you kind of just explain how energy healing actually works?
So like, we're all vibrational beings. So we vibrate at specific levels. So for example, we vibrate at around, like, the different parts of the body and different organs vibrate slightly different, but it's around about 60 to 78 megahertz. And then when our vibration drops through emotion, or it's normally emotions, because that's what we, that's basically like it's instant. So you know exactly how you're feeling, and you can raise your vibration up and down. So like if you sit below 60s, for example, you know, sort of around 57, that's when colds and flu start to come in, and then it goes right down. Like if you're sitting right down the bottom of the spectrum, and you're like 25, that's when you start to die. So
Right.
yeah, and with the frequency, we need to try and keep that up. I've got a little, you see this?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is where we want to be, up here. I can give you a copy of this so you can
that'd be
show it to
cool.
people. And this is where we don't want to sit. Oh, sorry, can't really see it.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's right.
So what is down here is our emotions. So this is boredom, inertia, kind of, you know, just floating, not really doing anything. And then you go down here to discouragement, anger, hatred, rage, guilt, shame, you know, all that kind of stuff sits here. And then up here you've got you know, enthusiasm, acceptance, peace, reason, being happy. That's why people just say, you know, just be happy, and they don't realize that that is actually the key.
Yeah, that's actually a really good visual. I'd be keen to get a copy of that, actually.
Yeah. And so and it also goes with what you put in your body. I mean, like for example, you know, fresh herbs and you know, and good, especially organic stuff, is going to raise your vibration. Whereas if you live on like canned food, even canned vegetables and stuff like that, the process that they go through basically makes them a zero. They don't vibrate.
Yeah.
Like they're dead. It's a dead thing.
Yep.
So if you live on that, you are not going to be very healthy at all.
Yeah, and mentally as well, like, and this comes through so much with what we do as well. You know, your state of mental health is so deeply connected to the food that you're eating.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So would you say that I think I may have heard you mention this before. Can the people that you are around affect your vibration?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So you can strip somebody's energy, you know. What's an example? Okay, so when you think mean thoughts about somebody, like that, even though they might not be in the same room or the same whatever, that can strip your energy. And so it's really important to protect yourself. Like if you go into a room that has just had an argument, for example, and you walk in there and you go, oh my God, this feels really tense. You can feel that, because what you're feeling is like radiating out into your aura, and people walk into that and yeah, they can feel it, and then they absorb it as well if they're not protected. So that's why it's important to keep your aura strong. And so that's like, because if you can imagine if your aura is sitting like this far, so you it's kind of hard to explain, but so somebody's mean energy is sitting out here, or their thought or whatever, it hits your aura, and then it only has to go this far to affect you.
Right.
But if it's like way out there, you know, it's going to take a hell of a lot longer, and it's probably that emotion, depending on how intense it was, your aura will just flick it out.
Right.
Because it's like way out there. So with some of the stuff that I do, I give people techniques on how to protect their aura, because once I go through and clear any tears or anything like that, I teach them how to push it out and keep it strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine that's a very valuable thing to know. how to do.
Yeah, so there's quite a few little techniques that you can do to keep your energy strong, and yeah, little bits and pieces like that can help you.
Yeah.
Also just being aware of for example, like if your root chakra is out, you can have problems like constipation, kidney stones, restless legs, you know, when you get that restless legs thing, eating disorders, fatigue, and it goes to things like anything below your body. So you might find yourself tripping over a bit more because you know that governs your root chakra, governs the legs, things like that.
So it's basically sort of about alignment, isn't it?
Yeah,
helping the body stay in the right state of alignment, and then when it's not, everything else starts to go wrong.
Yeah, so your chakras, you know, are just basically spinning wheels of energy, spinning wheels of energy, whatever you want to call it. And there's 7 main ones. We have like hundreds and thousands in our body, but the 7 main ones, you know, so from your root right up to your crown, and then there's 7 layers that go right through. So your first layer is sort of, you know, what's happened like in the last day or so, you know, that sort of sits like right on the outside. And then as you go into your 3rd, 4th and 5th, that's sort of your core beliefs and stuff that's been kind of drummed into you, good and bad, like it's not only bad stuff. And then the 6th and 7th is stuff that you've brought over from past lives, you know, that kind of thing, stuff that you bring through with you in your next journey.
So like who are your sort of typical clients, and what kind of help are they looking for?
So it varies. So like I see mainly women, and they come to me with anything from, you know, just feeling stressed out, anxious, especially at the moment. There's so much uncertainty around, and people were just, you know, and there's so much pressure from all, you know, I don't even want to talk about that, but you know, about what's going on, and it's really affecting people's relationships. And because they're constantly living in that state of fear and panic, you know, we just saw that sits like way down here, and so they are finding that they're getting sick, and they're not, you know, they're not healing properly, or they just feel unwell. You know, sometimes depleted. you can't put a you know, a thing on it, like a diagnosis, but it's just, you're just not right.
And I'm guessing that, you know, I mean, we see it too, you know, the majority of people we see are women, generally because women are so much more proactive with their health. But you do work with men as well?
Because I do remote as well, so I find that guys are less likely to come to the clinic. They're more, you know, so working remote is basically like this. So like I'll have a conversation with them, and then I'll hop off like the Zoom, and then I'll go in and I'll do the work. So they don't actually have to sit there and watch me, because that might weird them out a bit.
So you just mentioned that, you know, the people that you see are generally feeling stressed or unwell. Are there any other sort of common themes, like people at various stages of their lives, or something in particular has happened, anything like that?
Not really. I get quite a lot of pain, because pain is generally some form of trapped emotion. So like someone might turn around and say, oh, you know, but my knee, I fell over and hurt myself, you know, kind of thing. So my knee is sore. Like, it had nothing to do with the fact I was angry or anything like that. But your emotions and, for example, you know, all your legs, like if your legs and ankles are sore or whatever, and you're going through a stage where there's going to be change and you're not sure if you want to go it, you're not sure. So that gets radiated out, and then you'll fall and hurt yourself so that you don't have to walk that way.
Yeah.
So it stops you from doing it. So
interesting,
yeah. So there's so many examples of things like that. And it wasn't until like how I started learning into that. So with my, I don't want to keep going on about relationships, but they tend to be
it's an important part.
Yeah. So with my son's father, I started getting out of bed and my feet were so sore. Like, I couldn't walk on them. And I used to have to put my feet on the ground and then just sit there until my feet got used to being on the ground. And yeah, and so it would be okay. I'd sort of start walking around. But then, like, for example, like if I would be sitting for a while and then I'd get up and my feet would be sore again, and I just couldn't figure it out. And it wasn't until I sort of dived deep, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, definitely not happy where I'm going. I need to make some changes. And literally, as soon as I made the decision to leave, I hadn't actually left, but it just stopped. It just stopped.
So interesting.
Yeah.
I know that roughly half of our clients have historical stress that manifests as physical symptoms in the body. And often it's pain. So that's exactly what you're saying about trapped emotion, trapped kind of negative feelings that they've been holding on to for a period of time.
Any kind of trauma is not good, because we don't deal with trauma very well. You know, like you see in the wild, you know, for example, you know, lions or, you know, something like that, you know, trying to chase a giraffe, or whatever. And then after, like, that's gone, the animal will shake. And so that's getting rid of the trauma, and so it doesn't stay with you. So that is like the completion of the trauma process, but we don't do that. So that's where it gets trapped in certain layers, and that's what I help release. So with the help of this guy as well, it's my best friend.
Can you explain what that is?
It's a bowl. It's a so how I use it is because you have to train these little guys to work on certain energies, and this one releases negative. So what I do is, when I'm going over somebody, you tune into their body, and then you do a lot of it is muscle testing as well. So, you know, by tapping on the chakras and muscle testing, you can find out which ones are blocked and which ones aren't. And then with the bowl, you can remove different energies, whether that be it can be trauma. Like, for example, we did a workshop in the weekend where we were testing things out, and when we were releasing some of the surface energies, the person on the bed started shaking, like her legs were just like this. And what had happened is we had released a bunch of stuff, and her trauma, that we ended up tracking it back to a car accident that she had when she was 18. That was her trauma process finally finishing.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible.
Gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So like what do you sort of see as your main role when you work with these people?
Oh,
I mean, you mentioned like releasing pain and trauma. Is
yeah,
there any kind of do you think there's sort of like an emotional component there as well?
yeah. I think as long as you are aware of how emotions can affect you and how important it is to keep your vibration up and to actually be happy. And if you're not happy, then to be able to go to whoever and ask for help. You
Yeah.
know, like if something's not working for you, do something different.
Mm.
And yeah, so that's, yeah.
So what would you say is like some good ways to keep your vibration high?
What I do is like, because sometimes, you know, like I've got two jobs, so and I'm a single mum, so a lot of the time I've got so much going on in my head, so I need to stay grounded. So I do like a lot of exercises on my energy for a
Yeah.
start. But if you don't know how to do that kind of thing, you know, I step away.
Right.
I step away. I step right away, like out of the house, go for a
Yeah.
walk in nature. You know, I just remove myself from the situation and just think about what is triggering me. You
Mm.
know, what's the trigger? You know, and what do I need to work on?
Do you ever take on other people's trauma? Like, can that happen in your role?
I don't. I've had some very good teachers over the years that have taught me how to protect my energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can excuse me, you can test for that, and I've actually got a little trick I'll show you.
Yeah.
um
Cool.
First, I'll show you a trick about like how to release the trauma, like if something
Mm-hmm.
does happen to you. And it's just a really, really simple tapping technique.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so all you do is just tap on your thymus, and then just go, I release all shock, shame, and blame. I
Do you say
release
it
all
out
shock.
loud?
Yeah, I release all shock, shame, blame, and pain. I release all shock, shame, blame, and pain. I release all shock, shame, blame, and pain. And just keep doing that just for you know, a few minutes, and you'll just feel yourself getting calmer and calmer.
Shock, shame, blame, and pain. I remove
Yeah,
all shock, shame, blame, and pain.
yeah,
Wow. So that, I mean, anyone can use that?
yeah, yeah. I've taught my son how to do it. Like if he gets stressed at school,
Oh, that's a good
or
idea. Does it work
yeah,
for him?
yeah. Like I said to him, you can just sit there and say it in your head and just tap on your chest. Nobody has to know what you're doing. And or if he wants to say it out loud, I just said, just say you need to go to the toilet and go in there and just tap, and you know, take 5 for yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome to be able to teach a kid something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
I'm going to teach my kids that one.
yeah. It's really easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you say is the most rewarding part of your job?
uh just seeing like mainly women, because the guys don't tend to give you a lot of feedback,
Yeah.
um for whatever reason. um just seeing, you know, even the subtle changes, you know, or they'll ring me and say, look, you know, I've been feeling really good lately. I've actually noticed what my triggers are, so I've started to deal with those, and I've been tapping it out, or I've been, you know, doing this thing that you said, and it's been helping with this, and just to know that it's actually working for them.
Mm,
Yeah, it's really
yeah.
good.
Awesome. Is there anything that is a really difficult part of what you do?
Yeah, hearing about the trauma
Mm,
for a start, and finding that women, like, because we get so busy, we don't necessarily deal with it. And if we don't sort of, if we're used to going to the doctor if we're sick, or you know, if we've got a broken bone, we go to the hospital, but we're not taught to go and look deeper if something's troubling us. And half the time people don't even realize that it can actually be released, and you can reprogram those core beliefs so that you're not triggered, so you don't need to feel like that again. So I think that's quite a good thing to know.
Wouldn't it be amazing if like people like you could be sent into primary schools and even high schools and just give people these tools? Because, you know, when you look at some of the crap that we're being taught at school, I think about the crap I was taught at school that I have never needed or wanted to know ever. You know, talking about like algebra and trigonometry and all that crap. You know, you think about some of the stuff that the kids could be learning, and it's just not happening. And we say the same thing about what we do, like teaching kids about what food is doing to their gut and what connection that has with their mental health and things like that.
Totally.
Have you ever thought about being able to do something like that?
No, I haven't actually, but it is a good idea.
Yeah, maybe we should team up and do something together.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you could think of like one thing that you wish every woman could have, what would it be?
Just, I think the tools that I put into my daily practice, just little things that I've learned over the years. But I think just asking for help.
Yeah.
Because I'm fiercely independent, which doesn't do me any favors, because I think that I can just truck on through and everything will be all right. And you know, so I don't I've only actually recently learned how to ask for help if I'm not coping for a particular reason, or I need help with a business thing. You know, I just had this, I was led by ego, not by my truth. So ego has a lot to answer for.
And you know, just I think that there's a lot of us in the same boat, that you sort of feel like you should be able to manage, or you know, you don't want to, as women, we don't want to burden anybody else. And then we just end up in this heap on the floor eventually, because things are too overwhelming, or we haven't looked after ourselves because we haven't had the capacity to. But I think we're getting better, aren't we? Generally, I think we're getting better. I think men probably need to work on that a lot as well, like maybe more so than what women do. I think women are, out of the two, women are probably more prepared to ask for help, and that's why you see more women, and that's why we see more women. And you know, men don't typically come until they absolutely have to, you know. But again, like being able to teach that to young people, and teach them that, you know, if you do need help with something, it's okay to ask. I mean, that stuff's not being taught.
No.
And I guess it's not, you know, to be fair, it's probably not the school's job to teach them that. It's us as parents that need to teach them but you know, we generally we've got so much else going on, and you know, maybe it's something that we just forget.
So I've also taught my son you know, how to ask his body what is right for him. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that, and it might be actually quite handy for some of your clients. So okay, so this is a test that you can do. So it's nothing to do with the moisturizer. But if you put, I can't really see him. Let's see if I can angle you down. Okay, so if you just sit at a table and have something heavy, like this is full, so it's quite heavy, like a jug, or you know, a weight of some sort. Okay, and just pick it up and feel how heavy it is with a straight arm.
Yeah.
Just straight up and down like that. And then you can ask, okay, is my name Nikki? Yep, still nice and light. And then you go, is my name Heidi? And you find it's actually heavy. It's really heavy because it's not your truth, and it's not true. So, but you can do that with vitamins, you know, light for, do I need this now? You
like
know,
muscle testing, eh? Is it like
yeah.
muscle testing? I remember having that done by a naturopath actually, when she was figuring out which vitamins I should take.
Yeah. So that's a good one to do it by yourself, because there's quite a few that you can do, but I've found that this one is it's really obvious.
So is that like, so should you, like if you're battling with something, whether you should be doing something or not, is that what you mean? Like you ask that question and the right answer will be whether it's heavy or light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can play with that and just see what, you know, is quite a good one to do.
Yeah, I'm going to try that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to add about the kind of work that you do?
Like it's quite in depth, and there's a lot to talk about. But I think if anyone has any questions, they can just comment and I'll ask.
Absolutely. And how long do the sessions normally go for?
For around an hour.
Yeah. And and would you recommend like multiple sessions, or does it depend on the person?
It depends on the person, but it's almost like an onion, like I was saying before. So you release something which allows something else to come up.
Yeah.
So it might be that it comes up as they're walking out the door, and so they might want to book in, or it might be 2 months down the track that something else pops up. And so I don't generally say you need 5 sessions for doing this, because well, they might not need it for a start. But to work on all the chakras and all the layers, for example, and like you can't do that in one session, because that's like 49 different treatments that you've got to do. So that's why we go through, when we're having our talk, what's going on for you. And if they're not, you can even tell by their language, and where they're sitting, if they use a lot of swear words, or if they're negative about one particular thing, you can kind of see what chakra it's sitting at. So that's where you sort of need to dive down into it and find out, find that root cause, and just see what comes up.
It sounds absolutely fascinating, and I'm actually keen to come in for a session.
It's good. Quite I think people who have never had a session before don't really know what to expect. And like there's some questions that'll pop up, and people are sort of like, how did you know that? It might not necessarily be something now. It might be something, when you're about 7 or 8, did this happen? Because it's just tuning in and getting those little messages and finding out and digging down deep to the root cause of that trauma, and then lifting it. It is
fascinating. And as much as I don't know a lot about it, I know that there's value in it, and because so much of what you're saying aligns with what we do, and we know that it works. When you get your body into a state of alignment, that's when it starts to thrive. And if there's anything out of alignment, it's like a snowball effect. The smallest thing can end up leading to big things over time. So we focus on things like food and exercise and sleep and stress and gut health, and you focus on the energy, which is also just so important for that overall sense of well-being. And perhaps a crucial link that is missing for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing all about that. I've learned a lot. I've got some quick fire questions for you.
Okay.
What's your favorite food?
Or chicken and raspberries.
Really interesting, because my first guest, Charmaine Marinkovic, who you know very well,
Yeah.
because you were in the same field of photography, her
Yeah.
answer was chicken. What is
So
it with you
versatile.
photographers?
And everything tastes like chicken. Come on.
It freaks me up. All right. You can just imagine you guys doing your photography, just eating chicken all day. Okay, what's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, a cluttered office.
Oh,
I can't handle it.
yeah, ditto.
Yeah.
How do you stay healthy?
I try and do 80-20.
Cool.
So 80% of the time I do everything good, and then I let myself go for 20% of the time.
Perfect. That's our philosophy too.
Like 9-10. Yeah.
Great way to live.
Yeah.
How do you handle your bad days?
Or essential oils.
Oh,
Yeah, essential oils and getting out.
I might need you to come back for another session and tell us all about essential oils.
Oh, it's another good one.
Yeah, gosh, I'm so intrigued by that. And again, I don't know a lot about it, so I'd love to talk to you more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Cool. What's the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning?
Normally my dog or my son. No, just kidding. No, just kidding.
Very literally.
Yeah.
What's your driving force in your life?
Helping people.
Mm.
Like I do it with both businesses.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I really love it. And I feel really not lucky, but I feel blessed that I get up in the morning and I love what I do. Like I don't get up and I don't go to a job where I don't like. And yeah, I'm very happy that I've been able to live my dreams.
Yeah, I totally know what you mean. And but a big part of that is figuring out what that thing is, isn't it? Like, what is it that sets my soul on fire? What is it that makes my heart sing? It's the same thing as what gets me out of bed in the morning, like finding that thing and then going and doing it.
Yeah.
Wonderful. If you could invite anyone to dinner and they could be living or dead, who would it be and why?
Apart from my dad is not here anymore. I'd love to have a catch up with him. But maybe I've just recently found, and she's an author called Florence. Now I've got to remember her name. Florence Scovel Shin.
Okay.
And she's an author, but she was born in like 1870 or something. So like this is like a long time ago. But she was a New Thought spiritual teacher, like way back then. And I've been listening to her audiobooks, and I've just actually ordered some hard copies because I like tangible stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, she has been really quite influential over my mindset in the last few days, which has been kind of crazy how one person, or like just finding that little inspiration that you need sometimes. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be so cool for her to know that her legacy has lived on for this long?
Oh my God, totally. Yeah.
I just think that's so amazing, because she wouldn't have known that in her day.
Yeah. Like, because I think her main book, the book that I'm getting has actually got 4 books inside the book, but is The Game of Life and How to Play It. It's really good.
Wow, I might have to look her up. I wonder, does she have books in the library? Do you know?
I don't know.
I'll go into a search and see if I can find her.
Yeah, but there's heaps of audio books on YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I just
Oh.
listen to them while I'm editing or
I'm
driving.
like you. I like audio books, but I also like tangible books as well.
Yeah.
Awesome. What's your guilty pleasure? And please don't say chicken.
No. Wine and cheese. Driveway drinks.
What kind of wine?
Sav.
Yep. And what kind of cheese?
Well, I like soft cheese.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind.
Blue vein. Do you like blue vein?
Yeah, I do. And there is one of my favorites is, I think it's Castello.
Oh yeah, I know the one.
Yeah. The soft blue and the truffle.
Yeah.
And they've got a new one out, which might have to track down and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, cheese isn't something that I really eat anymore, but every now and then, if it's there, we're at someone's house or we're at my mum and dad's, because my dad's being a Dutchman, he's all about cheese.
Yeah.
I'll just have a little taste in it. Yeah, absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Especially the blue vein.
Yeah.
And if I'd said that, you know, when I was 8 years old, to that one day I'd love blue vein, I would never have believed it.
Yeah.
Okay, what's something that not many people know about you?
I also study astrology.
Ooh.
And I've also recently just found human design and gene keys, and that's taking me on another rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh, there's so many conversations I need to have with you, Nikki. Wow. And I guess they kind of all fit together, eh?
Yeah.
Like, you know, your healing work, your essential oils, your astrology.
Yeah.
It's just that whole approach.
Yeah.
Wonderful. What can you tell me about being a Pisces? I'm a Pisces.
Oh, that is actually, it's not that easy, because we were, like, for example, I'm a Cancerian.
Yeah.
Like, you do have an overriding energy, but you also have like your ascending planets. Like I've got a Libra ascendant, so what people see on the outside is more of a Libran quality, and what's inside is more of my Cancerian quality. And then you've got an overthrow, which mine is Aries, and so that comes in.
Wow, that's complicated. So Cancer is water sign though, right?
Yeah.
So Pisces
I'm
is a water sign as well.
Yeah.
So mine is like two fish swimming in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
Apparently means I'm not very good at making decisions.
You have to see where that sits in your birth chart.
Yeah. Interesting. So fascinating.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite quote that you live by?
Yes. Good old Henry Ford. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. Yeah, I do like that.
Have you read his autobiography?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, quite fascinating. I read it many, many years ago.
Because he started really late, eh?
Yeah.
Like in life.
Yeah. Amazing. Ran an amazing
really
business.
late, but
incredible.
Yeah.
I love the quote, and I think it's absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
And I actually I tell my kids that one.
Yeah.
You know, when they say they can't do something, I say, well, you're going to tell yourself that, then you're probably right.
Yeah.
Any last words of wisdom for our listeners?
Thoughts create things. So just be wary of what you're thinking and how you're feeling. And then if you need to change it.
Yeah. Simple but so effective.
Yeah.
And what's the best way for people to connect with you if they want to find out more?
So I am on Facebook or Instagram at Soul Therapy NZ.
Yeah.
Or what's my website? Soul Therapy.
Give me the details, and I'll post all the details as well.
Yeah.
And is there anything that you would like to offer our listeners today?
Yeah, if somebody wants to come and see me, then I will make them a beautiful oil and put it in a little custom blend, especially for you, and put it in this beautiful little rose gold roller bottle.
Right, I'm there. You sold me.
This is actually rose, because rose is like 320 megahertz. So yeah, can never have too much rose on you. Yeah.
Wow, what a offer. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll post your contact details, and yeah, just want to say a big thank you for coming along and talking to us all about your healing work.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean what I said, you know, I'm keen to hear more about the essential oils and the astrology, and I find all that stuff really fascinating.
Yeah.
So yeah, really appreciate you coming on today and sharing with us your wisdom. Really
Great.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in today. I'm sure that you've learned a lot, just like I have, and we'll catch you same place, same time next week. Have a great day, everyone. See you later.